Hi gang, I'm back with another video for you today, and I'm talking about 5 fragrances that you all recommended me to buy. You guys recommended these fragrances over and over and over again, and what I decided to do was buy them throughout a couple of weeks and months and then put together this video of your recommendations and what I think about them. Do I like them? Do I hate them? Do I not think anything highly of them or negatively of them? You're going to find out in this video. There's a total of 5, as I said. They're mostly Middle Eastern fragrances, but there's one car manufacturer, designer, and also there's a couple of bonus fragrances that I have bought much longer that you recommended as well, and I'm going to talk about those as well as bonus fragrances. But find out about what I think about these fragrances, your recommendations, coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yesterday we're talking about your recommendations, fragrances you recommended to me to get, and what I think about them in this video. One car manufacturer and 4 Middle Eastern brands. These are Middle Eastern brands that I think are pretty hyped in the community, and most of these are fairly inexpensive. There's one that's around 100 that I paid for, but it retails for about 150 in the suggested retail price. But everything else is much lower. And what do I think about them? You guys speak highly of them, so you'll find out today in this video if I like them, if I hate them, or if I don't have any opinion on them. Before I get to the fragrances though, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the first one. This is from the house of LATTAFA Perfumes. This is AMEER Al-Oud Intense Oud. So this one was recommended several times in the past, and most recently it was recommended as an alternative to By the Fireplace from the house of Maison Margiela. And the reason I bought this is because I am a fan of Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace. In fact, it's my favorite fragrance from that house. I enjoy wearing it, and it's supposed to be kind of a smoky take on this kind of gourmand, sweet, vanillic, ambery chestnut experience. I don't get much smoke from that particular fragrance, but boy, do I get a lot of smoke in this one. So do they smell alike? Sort of, they do, but then they don't. Okay, so this is about 25 bucks. I paid about 25 bucks for this, and it features the notes of woods, oud, vanilla, sugar, aromatics, sandalwood, and oud. So it's mentioned oud a couple times. So there's oud in the top notes and there's oud in the base notes. So it's a oudy experience, whereas the By the Fireplace is not necessarily an oudy experience. It's more of a gourmand experience there. And I think it's the oud overdose in here that's creating this kind of smoky woods experience, and it gives me more of an experience of really sitting next to a fireplace or being by the fireplace kind of an experience. So let's go ahead and smell. What I think would be great for this is when I wore it a couple times, I think this would be great layered with By the Fireplace, whereas By the Fireplace doesn't have that smoke and I want it, and this one doesn't have as much. It's sweet, but it doesn't have the sweetness that By the Fireplace does. The other thing is this is also very intense and long-lasting, so the two together will be nuclear. Nuclear, maybe not, but you'll add the smokiness to the By the Fireplace, and you'll add a little sweetness to LATTAFA Perfumes AMEER Al-Oud Intense Oud. You know, I think it's a pleasant scent. It's definitely the smokier version of By the Fireplace. It's not necessarily that sweet to give me that full experience of By the Fireplace, but if you just had this and you were trying to, you know, replicate or create a, you know, like replace By the Fireplace, I think this will do the trick. But I like the idea of layering the two together to balance them out, to give the By the Fireplace a little smokiness and to give this one a little sweetness. So I recommend this one, and for 25 bucks, definitely worth it, I think. Try it out. We'll see if you guys get the reminder of By the Fireplace. The other thing about the bottle is it reminds me of the bottles of Guerlain's older L'Art et l'Amitié collection, and before they moved them into the new bottles. Doesn't that remind you of those? It kind of really does to me. But I do like the great graphical you know, lettering here, the Arabic writing on it, which looks pretty cool. So this is definitely a great recommendation. I enjoy it. I think it works great on its own. It'll remind you of By the Fireplace, but not fully reminding you of By the Fireplace. And the layering idea is great as well for that one. The next one is the car manufacturer. It's Mercedes-Benz. This is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. I paid 55 bucks for this for 100 ml. I don't know what the suggested retail price is, but I think it's around 100 bucks. And for the notes here, we've got vanilla, incense, bergamot. I do have to say, I really love this bottle. It reminds me of a spaceship. Don't you think so? I like the look, and I like that orange kind of, it looks like windows. So it kind of reminds me of a futuristic plane or a spaceship kind of a thing. I love that about this bottle. So let's go ahead and smell it though. So this is, to me, definitely very sweet vanillic ambery experience. Yes, there's definitely that citrusy top up there because they claim that there's vanilla, incense, and bergamot. So you get that citrusy top up top, which I like. And then finally it's developing into a smoky vanillic experience. Less smoky from the incense, more vanillic, sugary, sweet, ambery. But definitely the bergamot is prominent. And it's creating a kind of a tea-like experience, like a sweet vanillic tea experience with bergamot. Bergamot is used in tea, in Earl Grey tea. So I'm kind of getting that kind of a vibe here. But definitely this is kind of like an alternative to, speaking of Guerlain, we spoke about Guerlain. Guerlain's L'Art et la Métier fragrance, Spirituous Double Vanille. So if you like that fragrance and you think it's very, very expensive, I'd try this one. If you want that kind of sweet vanillic bergamot-y tea experience. The only thing is, everything I'm recommending today in this video or talking about today are unisex targeted. At least I think they are all unisex targeted. I know this one is a male targeted release. And I think some men have problems with vanilla. I think they associate vanilla with feminine fragrances. This is male targeted, and if you're a man, have you smelled it? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Do you wear it? Or do you think it's too feminine? And if you're a woman, are you wearing this one? Because I think it's totally unisex. I think a woman can totally pull this one off. Definitely check it out. For 55 bucks, I think it's gonna be perfect for autumn, coming right up. I really love this one. And the fact that I think it looks like a spaceship, but it also kind of looks like a telephone. Like imagine you're riding in your very luxury Mercedes. This looks like a telephone and you pick it up and go, hello, I'm here. Although, probably maybe 10, 20 years ago, that's the kind of phone they had probably in Mercedes-Benz cars or whatever. But either way, I like this one. It's Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Definitely worth it. Don't you think? Are you a fan of it? Do let me know. The next fragrance we're talking about is from RASASI. It's La YUQAWAM pour Homme. This one has been recommended to me since the older channel. I think as long ago as like 2014, 2015 when I was on the previous channel, this fragrance was recommended to me. So I finally said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get it and see what it's all about. I've always known that it's an alternative to Tuscan leather. So does it smell like Tuscan leather? We shall see. I've always liked the bottle, never owned it, but here it is. This is a leather fragrance, an alternative to Tuscan leather. Let's go ahead and smell this. Tuscan leather has that raspberry. This one does as well. So this one features notes of raspberry, saffron, thyme, frankincense, jasmine, artemisia, suede, wood, amber, leather. Who's a fan of this one, and do you consider it an alternative to Tuscan leather? You know, yes and no. Not identical, but it's going to remind you of Tuscan leather. But then again, Tuscan leather has been cloned and copied and reproduced and made alternative by so many brands. Not only clone brands, but other brands, like major brands. You know, it's kind of like that very popular leathery experience. I don't know if Tom Ford's Tuscan leather was the first. Most likely it was, because it's copied so much. Even Tom Ford copied it with ombre leather. Although they kind of like created their own version, and I find it to be an offspring of Tuscan leather. They kind of do remind me of one another. I would say this is definitely close to Tuscan leather and also ombre leather, so it's definitely very similar, but it has its minor nuances. Perhaps it's not as dense, and I don't know how this performs on me. I haven't really worn it yet, but it totally reminds me of Tuscan leather, ombre leather. Would I have rushed out to get this one? Well, I already bought it, obviously. I have it, and I've shown it to a client so far, and they did enjoy it, although they love leather fragrances, so they also love Tuscan leather and ombre leather and a bunch of other leather fragrances, but they're curious to try this one further. Would you buy it if you wanted Tuscan leather and you couldn't afford it? I'm assuming you would buy this one for 70 bucks, because I paid 70 bucks for this, and I think it's about a 75 ml bottle, so I think it's worth it. I wouldn't buy it because it is very clonish and I have Tuscan leather, also ombre leather. But if I didn't have those fragrances, I would rush out to get this one. All right, moving on to the next fragrance. It's another LATTAFA fragrance. It's QAA'ED in this bottle or box. I don't remember what this was supposed to be smelling like, but I don't really love the bottle too much. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I really like the other LATTAFA bottle that was in here. This one, I'm not sure I care for the gold. Gold seems very cheap. But it is a 25 buck fragrance, so it's not, I shouldn't complain, right? It's heavy duty. The cap's light. It does remind me also of the Dunhill Icon series fragrance bottles. The more exclusive Dunhill fragrances are even more like this. Anyway, this one features notes of vanilla, amber, leather, oud, sandalwood, saffron, nutmeg, cinnamon, bark, cardamom. So it's warm, spicy, oudy, woody leather fragrance. Let's try it. This one, wow, lots of cardamom up top. Big dosage of cardamom, very pungent. Lots of cardamom, lots of spices. I think cardamom, there's the cardamom actually in here, and the oud reminds me of Tom Ford's Oud Wood a little bit. But this is definitely going into the warm ambery leather direction. So it's like taking all these different fragrances and combining to make a fragrance that's its own thing. But it definitely borrows from Tom Ford's Oud Wood. I think it's also borrowing from OUDH Interlude. Not the newest one, the extract, but the original, because it's not as dense as the other. But then there's a denseness about this, and it's also a lot warmer, whereas Interlude Man has a coolness about it. I don't get the oregano that I get in the Interlude Man, but like I said, it's kind of like Oud Wood, Interlude Man, and maybe some ambery fragrances, because it is definitely getting sweet and spicy, ambery and vanillic as well. So, you know, I'm not... This is not one of my favorites, I have to be honest, but I have to be honest because I'm not digging it. It's not because I don't like it, it's just I have so much like this. It's not a great alternative to anything. I don't need another fragrance like this. So this one was more of a disappointment because there's so many fragrances like this and I've worn so many ouds and this kind of fragrance. I'm bored of them kind of a thing. That's why I'm disappointed in this. But I think some people will be very happy with QAA'ED. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So this is LATTAFA QAA'ED. It was around 25 bucks. Very inexpensive. Very, very inexpensive. You might like it. Check it out. And the next fragrance is the more expensive one. It retails for about 150 bucks. If you buy suggested retail, it is 100. This one I'm really enjoying, and I have been wearing it quite a bit because it's kind of ambery and sweet and honeyed and vanillic. This is Arabian Oud KALEMAT. I'm surprised how packaged this is. It comes in box within a box. Isn't that weird? And here's the fragrance. I know this is another fragrance that's been recommended to me probably from the previous channel. I know a lot of you were recommending this one to me. Even I went to their store in London near Selfridges. Finally have it, I ordered it online, and you know, I dig this one. This is definitely a great one. Even though it kind of smells like there might be oudy in there, like a little bit of an oud. They don't mention that there's oud in this one, but let's go ahead and smell it. Yeah, it does kind of have like a covering or dusting of oud, but it's not about oud, it's more about amber. It's very sweet and ambery. There's some aromatics and you know, herbs in there, spicy kind of. It definitely has an orange blossom, kind of a neroli, floral kind of an experience here. But it's very honeyed, it's very vanillic, definitely ambery, lots of it, and it's musky. This is actually really, really delicious. I've smelled fragrances like this. I think there was a fragrance from LATTAFA when I first started reviewing that I had. I think it was called AMEER Al Oud. From now that I remember. It's not intense oud, but it was just called AMEER Al Oud. This reminds me, the KALEMAT reminds me of the AMEER Al Oud, and I love this one. It's just a very sweet, intense, overwhelming, intense fragrance. Love it. So it's Arabian Oud KALEMAT. As I said, I paid about 100 bucks for that one, and that one's a great recommendation. You guys have recommended it so much to me. I had to buy it, and I love it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these 5 fragrances that you recommended. Are you a fan of these fragrances? And also, before I wrap up, do let me know of other fragrances that you recommend, as I'm always looking to try new fragrances. And since clients come in here and smell fragrances, I like to have a lot of variety for fragrances. And I'll say, if you want to smell Middle Eastern style fragrances, here's a selection. If you want to smell leathers, here's a selection. If you want to smell ouds, rose, I like to pull in and then get them ready for the clients. But also stay tuned tomorrow for another video on new fragrances, more from niche houses and some indie niche houses. So stay tuned for that. I like to explore some really new new offerings that I've discovered lately that I want you to find out. But either way, let me know of any other fragrances that you are fans of that you recommend me pick up. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Okay, this was another recommendation. This I've already featured in a few videos here and there. It's definitely cheapy. It's from Swiss Arabian. It's SHAGHAF OUD. This to me really does smell like Oud Bouquet from Lancôme. It's definitely definitely like a clone of that. It also is fairly inexpensive for 45 bucks, so it's definitely an alternative for that. And even though they might have a little different or twists to them, nuances that are different from one another, I think it could be a great alternative. But this is Praline, Vanilla, Oud, Rose, Saffron, and that's basically the Oud Bouquet combo. It was Praline, Vanilla, Oud, and Rose, and perhaps Saffron as well. I don't know, it just seems like a flat-out dupe of that fragrance. But who's a fan of the Swiss Arabian SHAGHAF Oud? Let me know, put a comment down. Do you find it a great alternative to Oud Bouquet? Do you prefer Oud Bouquet over Swiss Arabian SHAGHAF Oud, or do you like SHAGHAF Oud over Oud Bouquet? Because I think this one does have a better longevity. I can't remember. I haven't compared the two. But anyway, this was a great recommendation from you guys, Swiss Arabian SHAGHAF Oud. And last but not least, it's Al Haramain's Portfolio Neroli Canvas. This one was recommended many times, but it's been a year and a half or so that I bought this one. And you know, it's definitely very clone-ish, but then again, it kind of smells like Neroli Portofino, and Neroli Portofino smells like 4711, that very kind of Neroli Orange Blossom Citrus Eau de Cologne style fragrance. But this particular version has great longevity and intensity, and I quite like this one. It's Neroli Orange Blossom, Bergamot, Petitgrain, Lemon, Amber, Cedar, and Musk. This particular fragrance is not 100 ml, it's like 75 ml, I think. I don't have a size listed under here, and I don't know where the box is. I think it's around 75 ml, and it was about 100 bucks. So I think it's worth it. It's definitely more expensive with less juice, but it's definitely, you know, intense take on something like 4711 or Neroli Portofino. It smells great. Not identical, but definitely the same idea, similar smells and things like that. So Al Haramain Portfolio Neroli Canvas. Anyway, that's the last fragrance for you guys. See you soon.